Manhunt for shooter continues after Charlie Kirk killed in political assassination. Charlie Kirk, the founder of the conservative youth activist organization Turning Point USA, has died after he was shot during an event at Utah Valley University on Wednesday, President Donald Trump said. The great, and even legendary, Charlie Kirk is dead, Trump said on social media. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife Erica and family. Charlie, we love you. Utah Governor Spencer Cox called the fatal shooting a political assassination. The manhunt for the suspected shooter is still underway and the investigation is still ongoing, according to FBI Director Kash Patel. The Utah Department of Public Safety said in an update Wednesday night that 2 people were initially taken into custody after the shooting but later released. The first was released and later charged with obstruction by university police. The second person was taken into custody and released after an interrogation by law enforcement, the department said. Utah authorities said there are no current ties to the shooting with either of these individuals. The FBI said it is working alongside state and local law enforcement to fully investigate and seek justice in the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk, and asked for tips from the public, urging anyone with information, photos and video from the incident to share it with investigators. A single shot was fired on Utah Valley University's Orem campus toward Kirk, a visiting speaker, shortly after noon, the school said. He was hit and taken from the location by his security, the university said. Kirk, 31, was taken to a hospital after being shot, according to Turning Point USA, which said, with a heavy heart that we confirm that Charles James Kirk has been murdered by a gunshot during the campus event. We ask that everyone keep his family and loved ones in your prayers, the organization said. Utah Department of Public Safety Commissioner Bo Mason called the shooting a targeted attack and said the scene is a very large area. Mason said the only information they have on the possible shooter was taken from CCTV on campus, and that the person was dressed in all dark clothing. The shot was fired on campus from a longer distance, potentially from a roof, he said. There is no evidence that anyone else was involved, according to authorities. Salt Lake City FBI Special Agent in charge Robert Bowles said the investigation is in the early stages. We are following all the leads and all the evidence, he said during the press briefing on Wednesday. Trump, Vance, other lawmakers react to shooting of Charlie Kirk. The father of 2 young children was a Trump confidant at the forefront of a burgeoning conservative youth movement. Known as the Trump Whisperer, Kirk was deeply involved in vetting top positions for the administration following the election and was in constant communication with top advisors and the president himself. It's horrific. It's one of the most horrible things I've ever seen, Trump told ABC News chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl. He was a great guy, Trump said. He was a good man. He was an incredible guy. Nobody like him. FBI and ATF agents are on the scene, according to Attorney General Pam Bondi. FBI Director Kash Patel said earlier the agency stands in full support of the ongoing response and investigation. There was a discussion about shootings when the single shot was fired during the event. Utah Valley student Luke Pittman, who witnessed the shooting, told Salt Lake City ABC affiliate KTVX that he heard a big bang. We thought it was confetti. Then, everyone started ducking down, he told the station. And then, I look over at Charlie Kirk and I see blood coming from his neck. Utah Senator Mike Lee said he is tracking the situation at Utah Valley University closely. Please join me in praying for Charlie Kirk and the students gathered there, he said on social media earlier Wednesday. Vice President J.D. Vance called Kirk a genuinely good guy and a young father, while urging prayers in the aftermath of the shooting. Cox said earlier he was being briefed following the violence directed at Charlie Kirk during the conservative political activist's visit to the campus. Those responsible will be held fully accountable. Violence has no place in our public life. Americans of every political persuasion must unite in condemning this act, he said on X. The university was the first stop this fall for Turning Point USA's The American Comeback Tour, which is traveling to multiple college campuses around the country. The tour has planned stops in Utah, Colorado, Minneapolis, Virginia, and elsewhere, according to its website. An event featuring Kirk at Utah Valley University on Wednesday was expected to include a Prove Me Wrong table, according to the tour's website. Ahead of Kirk's visit to Utah Valley University, some students started an online petition asking university administrators to stop him from coming. Though Kirk's visit was controversial on campus, police were tracking no specific or credible threats before the fatal shooting, Utah law enforcement sources told ABC News. More than 3,000 people were estimated to be at the event, according to the university's police chief, Jeff Long. There were 6 police officers, along with Kirk's private security, according to Long. "We train for these things, and you think you have things covered, and these things, unfortunately, they happen," Long said during Wednesday's press briefing. Utah Valley University's campus is closed and classes have been canceled until further notice, the school said. "We are shocked and saddened by the tragic passing of Charlie Kirk," Utah Valley University Vice President Val Peterson said during Wednesday's press briefing. "We express our sincere condolences to the Kirk family. We grieve with our students, faculty, and staff who bore witness to this unspeakable tragedy." Peterson said the university's Turning Point USA student group invited Kirk to speak on the campus, which he said is seen as a place to share ideas and to debate openly and respectfully. "Any attempt to infringe on those rights has no place here," he said. "We do not condone any form of violence at UVU and seek to make our campus a safe place for all. There is no call to shelter in place at this time," according to Orem Mayor Dave Young, who urged people to report anything suspicious to police. "We are devastated by today's events," Young said in a statement. "This type of violence should never happen anywhere, let alone in our community. This is in direct opposition to our values, which include family, unity, respect, and faith." The incident sparked immediate condemnation from leaders on both sides of the political aisle. "There is no place in our country for this kind of violence. It must end now," former President Joe Biden said. "Jill and I are praying for Charlie Kirk's family and loved ones. The attack on Charlie Kirk is horrifying, and this growing type of unconscionable violence cannot be allowed in our society," Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, a Democrat, said on X. Fellow Democratic Governor, California's Gavin Newsom, said on X that the attack on Charlie Kirk is disgusting, vile, and reprehensible. "In the United States of America, we must reject political violence in every form." Republican Nevada Governor Joe Lombardo said the attack was sickening and heartbreaking, and there is no place, ever, for violence in American politics. Trump has ordered all American flags throughout the country to be lowered to half-staff through Sunday evening in Kirk's honor. Kirk had 2 children, a 3-year-old girl and a 1-year-old boy, with his wife, Erica. He was considered a huge star on the far right by many conservative pundits and seen as leading the next generation of Trump's MAGA movement. Charlie Kirk's influence, reach helped propel Donald Trump into office. He founded the conservative advocacy group Turning Point USA in 2012, at the age of 18. The group helped to promote Trump, especially with high school and college-age voters. The group and Kirk had a huge following with conservatives, particularly men, and he was able to parlay that popularity into support for Trump's campaign. During the 2016 Republican National Convention, Kirk spoke to an enthusiastic crowd as one of the youngest speakers. He was the opening speaker at the 2020 RNC. Charlie Kirk was a father, husband, and dedicated patriot who spent his life defending conservative values and inspiring young Americans, Republican National Committee Chairman Joe Gruters said in a statement. "Our hearts break for his wife, children, loved ones, and countless supporters across the country. The horrifying violence at Utah Valley University that took the life of Charlie Kirk is utterly appalling. Republicans and Democrats alike must stand united in condemning this brutality that has no place in America." Democratic National Committee Chair Ken Martin called the shooting yet another horrific act of targeted political violence. "Though we're still awaiting further details, in all likelihood, he was murdered for expressing his beliefs," Martin said in a statement. "Let me be clear. Even if you disagree with someone's beliefs, even if you stand against every single thing they stand for, the path of disagreement must never lead to what happened today at Utah Valley University.